Besides being an absolute bop of a song, cruising timber is the more informal way of describing a forest inventory. Forest inventory is used to figure out what the heck your woods is made out of. And take that data to produce information to make informed management decisions. After your timber cruise, you can appraise the value of a land, figure out the operability for loggers, harvest systems, possible silvicultural treatments, and the general lay of the land. In the rest of this video, there's some clips from me doing field work, and then a sample of crunching some numbers back in the office.
Woods ain't perfect. It's the woods. Ooh. Blackberry. Yummy. Oh, made it to the right of way. Got through all that junk. Walked down this road a bit, and then I probably should have marked that trail on the map. Whatever. Spongy moth came in, ate up all the foliage. Happened a couple of years in a row here, and you get oak mortality because you know, the trees can't make any food or make any growth for a couple of years, so they die. They exhaust themselves. So there's still some oak back in here, which is one of the more profitable species in this area, but yeah, a lot of mortality. No bueno. So we made a plot. We got plot center marked. It's important that depending on the tool that you're using, whether it's a angle gauge, whether it's a prism or an angle gauge, the vertex of that critical angle created by the instrument needs to be over point center. So prism over the point. If you're using an angle gauge, your eyes over the point. So, you know, heel of your foot, and then you'd hold out your gauge, and then you do it like that. So we're going to use a prism because East Coast, Beast Coast. And as you can, if you look through the prism, it offsets the stem. That's going to be hard to see on camera, but that nice big white pine right there offsets it. This is tough to see. I'll make a cartoon or something to explain it. But if it's still touching, that would be an in tree. If that offset bit is still touching the rest of the trunk, that's in. If it's not touching, like that oak right there, the main trunk is no longer touching that offset bit, that's an out tree. So that's how that works. This big red maple, obviously it's in. Red maple. Guy's dead. That guy's out. That guy's dead. Too far. What's that? Yep. Small red maple. Let's check them out. Oh man, this guy's kind of ugly. 22. Just built more stick. 22. It's essentially a special ruler calibrated with tangent geometry to take diameters. Take a height measurement on it too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's see. We're gonna read it to where it really starts to fork up there. God dang, 3 logs. Saw log. Wow. $31. 29, we'll call it 30. It's a nice tree. but nice old tree. It's something unique, but it's not good for lumber, so I'll just call that half a log coal. Important for wildlife and other stuff. You see it's starting to get cavities and nooks, so that's good for the critters. Oh my god, that was my knee. Oh, birch. Sugar maple's in, that ash is in, that maple's in. Again, short form, not a very good lumber tree. $18, $16, $17, $17, ugh, unacceptable. Sugar maple. 16, 17. Got another hypsometer reading to show that. Get the eye calibrated from over the weekend. Line that stick up with just about the bottom, roll your eye up. Yeah, 3's right at the crotch. I think I'm gonna call it 2.5. Gets a little thin up there. Oh yeah, no, 2.5 all day. Yep. The ash are getting attacked by a beetle. When you see all those sprouts coming off, epicormic branching, that means the tree wasn't happy. That's it trying to put out some last minute growth to try and recover. Main trunk's dead, nothing up top, but it left out stump sprouts to grow into a new tree, but they're gonna get killed by the beetle, so that guy's dead. Like using the GPSs to get in and out of the stands and to double check yourself throughout the day, but I find that, you know, them loading and fiddling with them just takes too much time, so go old school, use the compass. Red in the shed. 1, 2, 3, 19, 20. We'll do a check. I was zigzagging quite a bit. So we're at 20. 21, 22. You guys got the point. Right. 2 oaks to the left and right, and that smaller maple in the middle. Waiting for the iPad to load. iPad kids, working in the woods. Yeah. 12, 2 sticks of firewood. Oh, this guy's nice and straight. Yep, another NRO. 20. 16, we'll call it 18. 1. Yeah, 18, 1.5. Fruitful. Sugar maple. Other maples in. Edge. 2 sugar maple. Basswood. Haven't seen a lot of those. Red maple. 16-inch red maple. flag at eye level. Holy cow. Take out your chronometer. Stand up tall. Let's see. Read the left side of mine. Yeah, 45% slope. Pretty steep, 45%. Not getting a forwarder up on this hill. Skidder, smaller one cable skidder, usually 20% slope, you're fine. Even the bigger ones, they can handle a bit more steeper of a slope. But the forwarders, I think around 10, 15, that's kind of where they max out.
So this is our super basic forest inventory. You're out in the woods, you come back to the office to actually crunch the numbers. Yeah, sure, tromping in the woods is fun, but on the computer is where the magic really happens. So you can do quite a bit with just using Excel, and pretty much everyone has it, and hopefully most people are at least a little bit familiar with how to use Microsoft Excel. There's lots of more sophisticated forest inventory softwares out there. So for this example, I have 3 plots. 3 of those variable radius plots that I took out in the woods. The data is actually from a different inventory I did on a different lot, but that's not super important. So your plot number, separate things, plot 1, plot 2, number for each one of those trees, just to help with the organization, and then species, red maple, NRO, black oak, white ash, etc. Have our DBH, diameter at breast height, number of saw logs, and quality, AGS or UGS. U is UG, A is AGS, unacceptable growing stock, acceptable growing stock. Now, this is our math. So we can get trees per acre. Oh, let's also talk about something else. Basal area factor, that's the power of your prism, your angle gauge. So for each one of your in trees, it's equivalent to 10 square feet of basal area per acre. Basal area is the square foot area of the stem at diameter at breast height. So kind of the area that stump takes up. So we can see basal area you figure out by dBH squared times 0.005454. So we take that number, and when you multiply it by our trees per acre, that gives you 10 basal area. Trees per acre we figure out by taking your basal area and dividing it by your basal area factor, so 10, dividing it by the stem basal area. So that's how that works. Board feet. How many board feet are in a tree? You can do that by using, let's see, any state agency or all over the internet. You can find your volume tables, different log rules. You have quarter-inch international, Doyle, Scribner, international, eighth inch. That's not too important. You got different form classes, but I'll leave a link to the paper where I got this formula from. This is a formula that you can punch right into Excel. And yes, it's super long and it's super complicated, but it works pretty good. And you can times that board feet per tree by your trees per acre to figure out how many board feet per acre you have. So we're just gonna run our numbers. Get a good look at the formulas again. AF10, we use a 10-factor prism. And that formula works pretty good, but we just got to correct some of the funny ones. And for this little simple inventory, it's easy to just punch in zeros for the trees that would normally be pulpwood trees. And there's some more Excel magic you could do to make this stuff work better, but it's just our simple example. Now you can figure out your averages across the plot. So plot 1, use average if. So it's the average of these DBHs. That gives us 17 basal area per acre. So every entry is equivalent to 10 basal area per acre. And that's simple. So we had 11 trees in that plot. So it's 110. So 10 times 11 trees per acre. All of these for plot 1. MBF. MBF is M is the Roman numeral for 1,000, so 1,000 board feet per acre. 7.8, so it's the addition of all of these board foot volumes for stand 1 divided by 1,000 gives us 7.8 MBF, and then if you really wanted to get into it, you could use a stumpage report for your local area to figure out the value of the individual species, but this is just to be a bit more simple. And then quality, figuring out the percentage of ags versus UGs. So 64% ags, and we just do that going down the list. Now our stand averages. So for ha-has, let's just say acres 15. So it's a 15-acre stand. We know that our mean DBH would be 15.9. Our average basal area is, we'll call that 90 and 93. And then our average trees per acre is 108, we'll say 110. And our MBF, we have 7.4 MBF per acre. Multiply that by 15. And boom, we get 100,000 board feet. Now, that's not taking into account the grade of your timber, or the species composition, or anything else like that. So that's a good number to know, but it's nothing super useful. But just for some basic management, quick stuff, it's cool to get that. Or if you're just curious about forest measurements, again, this is a fairly basic thing. And then if you're thinking about managing your stand, you can use stocking tables. These guides were produced by a whole bunch of research coming from academia and the Forest Service and state agencies and whatnot. So, and we have about 90 basal area per acre and about 110 trees per acre. So 110 trees per acre. Find where that intersects with 90. So without getting too far into the weeds, we know the stand's fully stocked. We're right around 70%. So if we were thinking about doing a thinning, we'd thin down to the B line and let the stand continue to grow. And then if we're doing more even age silviculture, we want to let's say you want a shelter wood or a seed tree or some sort of treatment like that, you'd cut all the way down to the seed line. And then from there, you can figure out how many trees per acre you'd want to mark for a timber harvest or estimate growth and all sorts of things. But this is the super duper simplified forest inventory and crunching your numbers.